These flags were put up for the hostages.
Watch as a Jewish man appears to be assaulted by a group removing the flags he placed to commemorate 2 years since the October 7th attack on Israel.
For the hostages, and this guy is taking them down. No, don't do that, don't do that, you'll get arrested, alright? And they're taking it into assault, alright? And you're taking it down, alright? Don't take them down. It's 2 years since the victims, alright? 1,300 people were murdered, alright, were murdered. And they're still hostages. This is for the hostages, 2 years. And you guys do it. This lazy assault me as well, alright?
Calm down, brother.
No, stop taking them down.
I'm taking these down.
Stop taking them down.
Why?
This is for the hostages, okay? It's 2 years today. It's 2 years today.
Calm down. Calm down.
They're anti-Semites. Honestly, you're a Jew hater. You're a Jew hater. Why? I don't care. You shouldn't be taken down. Do you know this is 2 years today? Have some respect just one day. Don't laugh. Don't laugh.
Stewart, the Jewish man in the video who had tirelessly worked to remember the 2-year anniversary of the Hamas attack on Israel, joins me now.
Walking along and I see someone with a design to take down flags. It was they was taking the flags down, so I sort of walked up to them, had a chat and said, you know, can you not put that down? I was attacked by a lady who pushed me like from my face to like that because I had my camera up, then was trying to grab her, but she was restrained. But that's happened many times in Hastings and St Leonard's mainly. It's happened quite a few times. I've had my t-shirt ripped. So yeah, it happens quite often really. I'm sort of more of an activist, to be honest with you, than the ladies, you know. It's, you know, I'm 6, yeah, so I do that sort of work for the ladies.
And you explained to the people, didn't you, that this was there to commemorate these people that had died. Was there any sort of, were they moved at all by that?
Absolutely not. They did not care. They have like zombie faces on them, and they're like zombies. They do not care. And you know, I told them, you know, I said to them, you know, these are, you know, there's still people in tunnels. How can you do this? And you know, they just do not care. And as you see by the video, he laughed in my face when I said that. You know, he laughed in my face.
And were you intending to be political with this, or was this more just about commemorating, you know, humans?
It's commemorating humans, you know, to show support, you know, for everyone who's been affected by this tragedy, you know, the massacre, you know, the Nova Music Festival. And, you know, since then I've had lots of, you know, thank yous from all over the world, if I'm honest.
And some people who would take the opposite view to you would say, why do you need to make such a public display of the commemoration and the grief that your community feels?
You know, we have minute silences for, you know, 9/11, and this is Israel's 9/11, you know. And, you know, we just wanted to show some people that, you know, we still think of them and we know they're in tunnels. But there is people out in this country, all around the world, what are thinking of them. And same with Israel, letting Israel and the population of Israel know that there is people still in support of you.
Why do you think these people felt that they couldn't leave those flags there? Why do you think it offended them?
You know, they're saying that, you know, one of them said there's been 70,000 children killed, sorry. You know, they just come out of all this, you know, all the time they come out with propaganda, which none of it's been verified, you know. So, you know, I don't know. It's just, you know, like I say, twinning with Hastings Council, twinning with a town in Gaza, which is run by terrorists, that sends the wrong message out to, you know, the population of Hastings, the resident of Hastings. It's saying that we're actually behind, you know, what's going on, you know. You know, it's terrible, absolutely terrible. And with the marches every week, we get them every week. They're there every night, you know, constantly. But you know, they're just honestly, they're there this week every night. Even this week, we thought they'd give them a rest since what happened last week, but every week they are here, you know. And this week, yeah, they're there tonight, they're there tomorrow night, they're there Thursday night, they're there Friday night, and Friday morning. They have no respect whatsoever. They do not care. They have no humanity whatsoever.
See, I think a lot of people think that there is a bit of more of an anti-Semitic backlash, especially in the big cities. We've seen all of this footage of the pro-Palestine protests, the chants that I don't particularly want to repeat. I think a lot of people will be surprised to know that there's this kind of stuff going on down on the south coast.
No, it's been going on for a while, you know. It doesn't help when you've got people like Bob Dylan shouting out what he says, you know.
Bob
They
Dylan.
think it's like, Bob Dylan, sorry, Bob Dylan. Yeah, it just doesn't send a message, you know, and it just seems to be spreading across the world. I've never seen anything like it, to be honest with you. And we're not making it up. We're not, you know, exaggerating. It's, you know, it's 100%, you know, out there. And it's just, yeah, I don't know why I have no idea. I can't get into their heads, I'm afraid.
Of course, of course. And would you ever consider leaving Hastings? I mean, you say that the town council is more aligned with the Palestinian side. They have twinned with a city in Gaza, and you've just mentioned a litany of issues that have happened. Would you ever leave Hastings? Do you feel like you might need to?
I want to leave this country, if I'm honest.
Wow, why do you say that?
Sorry, 1 minute. It's just they just become nasty people. There's no need for it. There's no humanity left in people, you know. And I feel like let's go somewhere else where there's some humanity left. I feel like we've been far too soft with these protests and what's going on, and you know, because they just feel like they can do what they want. You know, I've been 4 times. I've been, you know, questioned by the police, voluntary, not arrested, because they make things up all the time. But luckily, I have sunglasses with cameras in. I have a body cam. You have to protect yourself. They've attacked my business. Yeah, there's been so much, but we fight on. We fight on.
Yeah, and you said before that in general the community has been quite supportive of you. It just seems to be quite a vocal minority, would you say?
You know, if I walked down the town with an Israeli flag, you would get so many people spitting at it. Like today, I had just the yellow ribbon, and some girl ran past me, went, "F you, free Palestine." Just the yellow ribbon, you know, that's for the hostages, you know, and I just can't understand people so young and old are the same, you know. It's just, you know, I just can't understand, you know, I just can't understand why. How, yeah, humanity's lost. It has lost, and this country has lost it massively. Everything what's going on, you know, you just can't do anything. You can't say anything, you know.
For those people that have gone out today protesting for Palestine and don't seem to have even paid any lip service to the victims of October 7th, do you have a message for them?
Yeah, find humanity. Find humanity. Because if this happened to one of your family, you have to think of the families.
Last night, Stuart had confronted a man he accused of ripping down posters he'd placed out of respect for the remaining Israeli hostages in Gaza.
Tomorrow is 2 years since that, and you're ripping down pictures of a hostage still in the tunnel. That's a bit dark, isn't it, mate? Why are you doing that? Just let us have one day to mourn the hostages.
His fellow activist Harley, a Jewish man in his 60s, says the posters were not a political statement, but a human issue.
Putting up some stickers and posters remembering Avatar David, who is the young man full of life who's been held in terror tunnels now for over 2 years and was forced by his captors, was made to dig his own grave. It wasn't a statement of any political intent. It was just, please remember this as a human being, as you would want anybody remembered. Why would somebody want to take it down? And we have to go to the fact that images of Jewish hostages for these people, for some reason, are considered not acceptable. They want the narrative erased from the street, they want the memory erased from the street, and they only want one voice to be heard, which is their own.
This incident follows open hostility to commemorating the October 7th attack in this pocket of the South Coast. A memorial in Brighton and Hove, Britain's progressive bastion, has been targeted 50 times. It's been completely destroyed on 5 occasions, the latest of which in May happened in broad daylight. Last year, I reported the memorial was vandalised before the first-year anniversary of the attack. The suspect was arrested on suspicion of racially aggravated criminal damage, but was later released on bail pending further investigation. The community raised the money to replace it, but in June, the memorial was desecrated with faeces. Today marks 2 years since Hamas's attack on Israel, which left 1,200 dead and 251 taken hostage. 48 hostages remain in Gaza. Pro-Palestine protests took place in London today, despite pleas from the Prime Minister for demonstrators to remain at home. Despite the apparent opposition, Stewart and his fellow activists had managed to pull off their display of Israeli flags along the Hastings coast, symbolising the community's solidarity with the Jewish community. I'm Nick Dunning, GB News.